Hey everyone, and welcome back to JustNancy. Now, as you can tell by the title of this video is going to be a video not only about my roaccutane journey, but from how my skin went from this to this. If you know me or you've known my channel for a long time, you'll know that for about 5 or 6 months I've been taking a medication called roaccutane. I recently stopped this medication and I kind of wanted to make a video on the symptoms, what it's about, what I dealt with, and I just want to kind of make it a video that people could watch if they're thinking about going on roaccutane, and like what they can expect from going on roaccutane. As a disclaimer, I'm not a dermatologist or a doctor or anyone in medical professional training. Please don't take what I say as straight fact. If you want to know more about roaccutane, please speak to a dermatologist, please speak to a doctor. Don't go just on what I'm saying because it won't be completely right. Like, please don't take my word as like set in stone, do you know what I mean? Roaccutane is an oral medication, which means you take it orally, it's ingested into your body, that can only be given dosage wise up to your weight in kilograms. So I'm like around 60 kilograms, so they could only give me 60 milligrams of roaccutane because it's a very powerful medicine. It targets acne on the face and body. Basically, it dries up all of your acne producing, oil producing like cells in your body that basically create acne on your face. I really struggled with acne. I went on several medications, several face creams and like all of this stuff, and like antibiotics that was prescribed by my doctor, not by a dermatologist. They helped a little bit and then my acne went back, and it was just, I needed something dermatologically prescribed. Now moving on to symptoms. The most important and like I'd say the biggest one physically is everything dries up. And I mean everything. Every goddamn part of your body will dry up because it just dries up all of your cells so that your skin can't produce acne. That is the most, like, the thing that I was affected by the most was dry skin. Dry lips, dry face, dry scalp, dry hands and dry arms. Everything is dry. Like, this is not an over-exaggeration. Everything gets dry. I have, for the last 6 months, I've carried around, hold on, let me get it. For the last 6 months, I've carried around this massive pot of Vaseline. It is, so you know you get the small Vaseline and the like little cylindrical discs? Those aren't pure petroleum jelly. This is pure petroleum jelly, and it is so good for getting rid of dry lips, and trust me, you will need it. If you don't carry around lip balm with you 24/7, you will regret it. Roaccutane dries you out so badly. I've been carrying this around, and I have a moisturiser that has oil in it. Before I was using an oil-free moisturiser, obviously as not to make my acne worse, but get yourself a moisturiser, not with a load of oil in it, but like a little bit of oil added to it. Just a really simple moisturiser with no perfumes, none of that, but has oil in it to give moisture back to your skin because you will need it. I started getting eczema on my hands and on my arms here. Like, I got really dry patches of eczema. Cetraben cream is really good to help that. Just like putting some of that on every morning and night is super helpful for that. And just drinking water, to be honest, because your throat will get so dry as well. The amount of times that I like woke up in the morning and was like, oh my god, like I have COVID, I need to do a COVID test because my throat was so sore and dry, and it was just from the Accutane, is ridiculous. Oh, and also dry eyes. I have quite bad eyesight anyway, and looking at a screen I get quite dry eyes anyway, because when you look at a screen you don't blink as frequently as you do when you're not looking at a screen, because you're just like staring. So like looking at your phone, looking at a laptop, looking at your TV, I do quite a lot of that, so I had quite dry eyes anyway. The roaccutane makes your eyes even drier, so I would definitely suggest investing in some eye drops. The second symptom I would say, not symptom, side effect. The second side effect I would say, this isn't quite as like big, and I wasn't affected by it that much because I'm generally affected, as a student, I'm generally affected by this anyway, but it's fatigue. You do get tired on roaccutane. I don't know what it is I don't know medically what it is that makes you tired, but it's very tiring. I think it's because it's so harsh on your body that it's just very tiring, like mentally draining almost. I really don't know what it is in it that makes it so tiring, but I was fatigued pretty much the whole time I was taking roaccutane. It just is, like, just tired. So, you know, make sure you're getting enough sleep. Make sure you're getting maybe a little bit of extra sleep, because this pill will make you tired. The next one is quite an important one, and I'm going to put a trigger warning in the comments, and I'm going to say trigger warning, like eating disorder and like weight mention before I say this. So if you struggle with any of that, please just move on to the next bit. The roaccutane pill itself doesn't make you gain weight. It doesn't, there's nothing linked. Pill doesn't make you gain weight. However, it does make you want to eat more. It makes your appetite bigger, it makes you want to eat more, and as a result, this may make you gain weight. So it's not like a correlation. Weight gain and taking the roaccutane isn't a correlation, but like there is a causation of you wanting to eat more and therefore potentially gaining weight. It's something that happened to me while I was taking roaccutane, so it's definitely something to think about. That roaccutane lowers your mood to the ground. I don't know what's in it, I don't know what it is that lowers your mood, but low mood is definitely a side effect of roaccutane. My mood was definitely lower, and I really struggled with my mood over the last 6 months, and it kind of fluctuated so badly, and I had really high highs, and then I was just like low and demotivated and just all of that. So I would definitely say that low mood is something to consider and something to think about, and if you struggle with it already, it might be preferable to not go on this, because this is the thing, me saying all these symptoms might be scaring you, but like, I'm not trying to scare you out of taking it, because genuinely it's helped my skin so much, and you'll see in the progress pictures that I'll show later, it's helped my skin so much. But just, it's kind of just more of being wary, because if you struggle with these things already, it's potentially not a good idea to be taking something that's going to heighten it. And you know, there are so many other options. You don't need to take roaccutane. There are so many other options that may take a little bit longer to do the full effect that roaccutane does in 5 or 6 months, but is much healthier for your mental well-being than roaccutane could potentially be. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I'm not trying to steer people away from roaccutane, I'm just trying to be more informative, because it can be a lot, is what I'm trying to say. The third thing I want to talk about is what to expect when you're on Accutane. Your dermatologist can give you all of the side effects, all of the like sheets of paper with different information on it. It's very dermatologist, doctor vocabulary, and I kind of want to just break down what you can expect from your roaccutane journey. So first of all, it gets worse before it gets better. It 100%, essentially, it just brings up all the bad stuff that would be appearing, like, basically, your acne development would be slow with roaccutane. But roaccutane basically goes, okay, let's get all this bad stuff out on the skin and then we can get rid of it. So, like, I'll show you. So this is my skin 1 week after starting taking the drug. As you can see, my skin already became way more inflamed, and then his about half a month, and then his, I think this was in October again, and it was just so, like, even under my makeup you could see all the spots, and it was super inflamed. As you can see there, like at the beginning in like October, November, December, my skin was quite bad, especially October. I remember, because I had COVID in October, and I remember I was almost relieved because I wasn't putting makeup on my skin, and it gets very bad and kind of sore. The worst my acne ever was a month into taking Accutane, because it just brings everything up, and it was honest visually and also in terms of how it feels, the worst it's ever been. But after that, it starts to get better. So 100% it gets worse before it gets better. Going along with that, putting makeup on can sometimes be sore. I was like, when I was like kind of in October, the beginning of November, I was like, I need to put makeup on because my skin looked horrendous. But sometimes I got really cystic and like basically clusters of acne all down here along my chin and cheeks, definitely in this area. I'll show you, there's a video here. And putting makeup on it at the beginning of the day was fine, but literally by the end of the day it was all peeling off, and I just had like really exposed acne here, and it was very sore. I put makeup on 95% of the time that I was on roaccutane, but sometimes giving your skin a break can be quite nice for you, because just putting makeup on and like powder, concealer can be super sore for it, and just it doesn't make it worse. Like, it doesn't slow down your roaccutane experience at all. It didn't slow mine down at all. Mine was basically all gone in 5 or 6 months, which was about the time that it was said to be gone by. So putting makeup on doesn't slow down the experience, or like the journey, but it definitely can be sore, so just be wary of that. Third thing that I think is the most important thing is that Accutane doesn't cure acne. It definitely controls it, and my dermatologist said that 70% of people who take roaccutane never suffer badly with acne again. But I'll put a video in here. It doesn't cure it. I still have spot like marked here and here. They aren't bad, and they, you know, you can't see them really well. You know, my skin has cleared up a lot more, and it definitely doesn't look like what it did back in September, October, but it does, you know, it doesn't get rid of it completely 100%. Fourth and final thing I'd like to talk about is just other things / tips that I have for you if you're about to start roaccutane, and just other things you need to know that aren't like side effects or what to expect. The first thing is, which was a horror for my 16-17-year-old party animal self, is you can only drink one unit of alcohol per day whilst you're on the medication. I actually googled the reason for this, because I was so confused as to why acne medication, like, that affects acne medication. Essentially, the acne medication goes like, it's kind of absorbed obviously by your small intestine, your pancreas, all of that area here, and of course so is alcohol. So alcohol and the ethanol in alcohol mixing with all the ingredients that are in roaccutane could actually have a very disastrous effect. 1 unit of alcohol a day is nothing, but if you are like downing bottles of vodka every weekend, you are at risk of developing pancreatitis if you are on roaccutane, which can be fatal because it basically can cause your pancreas to fail. So what I did to get around this is you can get the little cans of 1 unit alcohols, which like the little cans of Malibu, the little cans of pink gin and lemonade, which are pre-mixed, and they're all like, I think it's like 1 unit, 1.3 units, but it's fine if it's 1.3 units because, you know, it's not like 10 units. So that's how I got around that, which meant I could still drink alcohol without like it being fatal, essentially. This one is kind of like, this one was very strange for me, because when I first started taking roaccutane, this didn't even cross my mind, and then when I, like, later on down the line, it was very important for me. Basically, if you're sexually active on roaccutane, you have to be using double contraception. I know this is awkward, and I know people don't want to hear this or whatever, but it has to be talked about because it's important. So essentially, if you get pregnant whilst you're on roaccutane, the baby can come out deformed. You have risk of a miscarriage. You can risk formed fetus. It is very dangerous to be pregnant on roaccutane, which means that you have to use double contraception if you're sexually active. Obviously condoms, like that type of barrier method, but also look at your options. Don't just go straight to the pill, because sometimes the pill doesn't work. Not as in doesn't work in terms of birth control. It's a perfectly fine way of birth control, but just for people's bodies and the way that they are, sometimes the pill isn't for you. There are so many other options of birth control that aren't just the pill. Like, to be fair, I did go on the pill. I went on the mixed pill, the progesterone and estrogen pill. but there's the patch, there's IUD, there's IUS, there's the diaphragm. There are so many different things that you can go on and have that are contraceptive methods if you're sexually active on roaccutane. That is so important, guys. Please don't take that lightly. Like, that is probably the biggest thing I would say. Aside from low mood and, you know, dryness, getting pregnant on Accutane is something you don't want to do. So listen to your dermatologist when she says that you need, and listen to me when I say that you need double contraception when you're on roaccutane. I said this earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Carry pure petroleum jelly with you everywhere. You will regret it if you don't. If you guys saw my Youngblood vlog, we were in the queue, and then we were at the concert, and then we were on the train for a very long time. I didn't have any Vaseline from about, I would say, 12 o'clock until 12 o'clock. So for about 12 hours I didn't have any Vaseline when I was in the middle, or like in the very first month of taking roaccutane, and I regretted it. You know when you get a cold and it's like really dry and you open your mouth and it like cracks? That, but like a million times worse. And I was waking up at like 3 AM to reapply Vaseline. Like, buy like 4 pots of this and just have one in your school bag, on your bedside table, like downstairs. Like, you will just need it constantly. You will regret it if you don't have proper lip balm. Swear down. Next thing wasn't that important for me because I started taking roaccutane in September when it wasn't very hot, wasn't very sunny. Exposure to sunlight is very, like, kind of more heightened when you're on roaccutane. You're more likely to burn when you're on this roaccutane. And actually that's the same for a lot of other skin medications, but particularly for roaccutane because it's so strong. So if you live in a hot country, or if you're starting to take roaccutane around May, June, July time, definitely invest in a good SPF. Make sure you're reapplying it every day, all over your body, but particularly your face, because it's very prone to sunburn when you're on this drug. And also stay away from exfoliating, sunbeds, anything that's very harsh on your skin, because it can be very dangerous as well to your skin when you're on roaccutane. So guys, that was my informative video on roaccutane. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments. I will be happy to answer as many as I can. And if you want to see any more photos or videos or anything like that of me whilst I was taking the drug, please don't be afraid to ask. I will, you know, I will send you whatever informative information you need to help you decide whether you want to start taking roaccutane. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week with a new video. Bye!